Om. Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samastajana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Partaya Pradibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashaധ്യായിനീം Ambatvam Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopaniषदैः Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Verse number 19 onward. Jnanam karma cha karta cha trideva guna bhedatah prochate guna sankyane yada chrunutanyapi sarva bhuteshu yenaikam bhavamavyayamikshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu Vedantyanam viddhi sattvikam pratatvena tu yajnanam nana bhavan pratakvidan veti sarveshu bhuteshu tajnanam viddhi rajasam. कर्म में, ज्ञान में और कर्ता में त्रिविध हैं. Three types of knowledge, three types of doers, actors, three types of action. This kind of classification is necessary for we, the so-called educated, Gurudev say idiots, because we want everything to be analytical, logical, rational, and that is the reason why we lack faith. When we analyze anything too much, we lose our love for it. At the same time, it should not be emotional at the same time. Emotional where you are not thinking at all. On the other hand, too much thinking, you lose the sensitivity. So here, Bhagavan anyway, he says, I will tell you about 3 kinds of knowledge to start with. What is that first thing? What is called Satvikam Jnanam? Ekam ikshate. Ek ko dekhna hai. Seeing the one. And that's what you do in your family when you have your children, your own spouse. Even though they are different people than you, but when you are together, you see one thing. Together, that we are all one. One family, one thing to do together, one thing to enjoy together. And each one of them doing their own things, then it is not a family. Somebody said family is father and mother in love with you. That's called family. Family. Father and mother, and you have to tell the children, father and mother in love with you. That is called family. So when we stay as a group, as a community, as a family, we should discover what is that one, for which all of us are ready to do anything. For the family, that each member of the family is ready to do anything to make sure that family is happy, family is secure, family is safe. But if one has the vision of the one which makes the entire living being one, that's why he says, Sarva bhuteshu yena ekam. Yena, by which knowledge? Yena jnanena ekam ikshate sarva bhuteshu. And which is what? Avyayam bhavam. It is imperishable presence. See, life is one. It is expressed as many. I say I am alive and you say you are alive. And even a small ant says it is alive. Even a plant is alive. When we recognize what is life, you know that it is not a form. It is not a substance. It is not a part of a body. It is not a one particular cell. And nobody can comprehend what actually the life's form is. Recently, I was watching that Netflix on Living on the Earth or something like that. There was a series, and there I was curious to know how they are going to explain the start of the life. Living in the planet or something, living planet or something like that. They didn't. And some time back, there was life. That's all they start. It started with water. So it's a beautiful series. I recommend you to watch. No, I'm not a Netflix, propagator or something, but it's a very interesting analysis of how the life expands. So that life which we experience as I am, constantly, as awareness, that jnanam, yena ekam ikshate sarva bhuteshu. And vibhakteshu, in those things which are different from each other, avibhaktam, undivided. Undivided presence. Like when you are standing in front of the mighty ocean, waves after waves you see, but you know all of them are H2O. It's only just H2O. In the same way, many people you see, many living beings we see, vibhakteshu, bhuteshu, avibhaktam, undivided one, tatjnanam, that knowledge is known as Viddhi Satvikam. That is the Sattvic knowledge. And which university teaches you that? University should teach unity in diversity. Isn't it? Unity in diversity which teaches, that is called university. But what they teach is only diversity, not unity. So, our own Chinmaya mission, our Chinmaya Vishwa Vidyapeeth, as of yesterday, they have gained the status. It's called de novo status. Yesterday only we came to know about that, where they can operate as the university that has a study on a special field of knowledge nobody has done before. That is called Indian knowledge system. How the ancient Indians have thought about various subjects very deeply. That is the one which they teach there in the university, mainly in all subjects. So this jnanam, sattvikam jnanam. And what does it do? It integrates people. Even if you see, eyes report only differences, colors, shapes and forms. Nose, all the varieties of smell. Ears, varieties of sound. Tongue, varieties of taste. That even though variety is there, one who is able to see in all of them, there is only one which is appearing as many. That knowledge, even in spite of seeing differences, will not disturb that person. It is like your child is wearing different dresses every day, but did you say that you are different, wearing different dresses? If you wear a tennis shorts, you're a different person. If you're wearing dancing dress, you're different. You're wearing a karate, you're different. No. It's like a character, a person, maybe a different character, but the actor is one. You go to a movie to look at the character or the actor? Tell me. You like the actor, and you want to see how this actor is playing that character. Is not true? In the same way, there is only one which is playing many different roles. That's why Bhagavan Krishna shows in this Vishwarupa Darshanam. Even though you see me as many, I am only one. Vishwam Ekam. There is only one. Therefore, that knowledge, Tadjnanam Viddhi Sattvikam, that knowledge is to be understood as one. And this knowledge is not taught to us in the material world. And the Upanishad continuously speaks about Ekam eva advitiyam. One alone is there, one alone is there. So even though there are varieties of religions, varieties of cultures and traditions and celebrations, it's all to recognize, make us recognize and become aware of that there is only one which is celebrated as the God, as well as the one which is same in within us also. On the other hand, he says, what is Rajasic knowledge? Yajnanam, that knowledge, nana bhavan pradakvidan pradakttvena. Bhedena, with the difference, and at the same time, that jnanam, which is different as in each individual, prak shariram, prati shariram, sorry. Every body is different, every soul is different, every being is different. Nana vidan, of variety, pratak vidan, and atmanha pratak, and different from me. This is the knowledge which we are unfortunately taught from the day one. You are the individual. You are who you are. Forget about others. So that strengthens the ego. That strengthens one's own idea as I. Finally, he says, I. Because that I is so strong. No doubt that we need to excel in what we do. That doesn't mean we push others around. I can do it, everybody can do it. I got the opportunity to do it, or I had been given the correct information and knowledge to do it. That doesn't mean others are not capable of doing it. They are not given that opportunity or that knowledge. So pushing others to prove oneself is not considered as the right approach to life. So pritakttvena tu yajnanam nana bhavan pritaktvitan veti, one who knows. So there are five types of differentiation that we create within ourselves with the world. One of the commentators beautifully put it here. First difference is mutual difference between person to person. I am different from you. I am so-and-so, you are so-and-so. I come from this background, you come from different background. I have this knowledge, you have different knowledge. Not only you, everybody around. So one always separates oneself as different from all others. Physically, emotionally, mentally, everywhere. This is Rajasic knowledge. Why? I'll come to you later. Second thing is that I'm different from God. Meaning, Bhagavan hai to hai, rehne do. He's sitting in the temple or a church or a mosque or some Buddha vihar. Let him be God. I'm different from it. So second difference is, मैं और ईश्वर दोनों अलग है. I and the Lord are two different ones. This is also Rajasic knowledge. The second is, the world that is full of objects, they are different from God. Meaning, as many of the religious precepts are, God created this world and he went away. Now, he created and then why he went away? He's afraid of what? No, he's remote controlling. So, the Jagat and Ishwar, they are two different. First one is what? मैं और तुम. We are different. Me and Lord are different. The world and the objects, the world and Bhagavan, they are different. I and the world are different. मैं और Jagat means inert things. Not only human being. First one we saw that human beings are different. I am different from you. I am different from all the things that are there as Jadam, as the inert word. That is different. Then the final one is, each object is different from each other. Table is not the chair, chair is not the door, door is not the window. Water is not fire, fire is not air, air is not space, space is not earth. See, interesting thing is, this is how the world we are looking at. Don't we look at the world like this? I am different from you, first thing. I am different from God. Second. The world is different from God. Okay. Then, I am different from the world. Then, every object in the world is different from each other. All these are Rajasic. Because of this alone, I want to own things. Because when I say this is different from me, and if it is useful to me, I will take it. If it is useless, I will reject. So the world is, we are constantly engaging in what? Acquiring things which we need. They are called yoga. And whatever I need, I continues to protect it, kshema. And if it is not useful, visarga, throw it away. With the people also we do the same. Don't we? So long as they are useful to me, I am always thinking about you, all that. Once our work is done, okay, who are you? That's why the dogs are very good. Huh? After some time, they leave themselves, gone, finished. Only the limited time I am available, 14 years. Love me and I'm gone. You cry. Okay, Swamiji, I love dog more than anybody else. Even God is not that much. I go walk with him every day. Not even with my wife I go. Because she keeps talking. This fellow won't. Only thing is, once every other lamppost he stops. That's only. So what we do is the same thing. So long it is useful to us, it is close. After that, we reject. I am different from you. God also the same thing. Whenever we need some help, oh Bhagwan, Bhagwan. Ho gaya? Mil gaya? Bye bye. We'll see you later, next year, when I have a problem. So this way, in every aspect, every angle, we are what we do. Pritatvena. Everything is different. So yad jnanam nana bhavan pritakvitan veti. One who knows this way or one who thinks in this way. Sarveshu bhuteshu, in all living beings. Earlier what we saw? In all the living beings, one who is able to see the oneness. Ekam avyayam bhavam ikshate. In what with the what knowledge which that person is able to see sarveshu bhuteshu ekam jnanam avyayam ikshate tajnanam satvikam smrutam. Here pratatvena tu jnanam nana bhavan pratakvidan veti sarveshu bhuteshu tat rajasam tajnanam vidhi rajasam. And this leads to desire, hatred, likes, dislikes, action, tiredness. And that's why when you're tired only, we feel like retiring. Gurudev was asked, Swamiji, when are you going to retire? What retirement? I never was tired to get retired. You get tired only when you don't like what you're doing. Mentally, if you are in love with what you do, because you are doing not for others, you are doing things because you are feeling yourself completely merged and fulfilled in that, then where is a question of tiredness there? So here, Veti Sarveshu Bhuteshu Tadjnanam Vidhi Rajasam. That you understand as Rajasic knowledge. Continuing on that, he puts the next one, verse number 22. Yattu Krishnavate Kasmin Karye Saktam Ahaitukam Atatvartavadalpam cha Tattamasamudahritam Yattu Krishnavade kasmin karye saktamahaitukam Atatvartavadalpam cha Tattamasamudahritam Ekasmin karye saktam. One who is attached to only one thing. And also, how does he get attached to it? Ahaidukam, with no logical reason, no rationality, no thinking. And he thinks that alone is everything. Krishnam, complete. Krishnavat ekasmin karye saktam. Identified with only one thing, and one who is unintelligently identified with that and attached to it. Now, here it is said, Deheva Pratimava. Whether it is a physical body one it is attached, or even a particular form of God which one thinks that alone is true, all others who worship, all others what you think, they're all wrong. This is called fanatic identification with one idea. This leads to not inquiring about what is the truth. Atattva artha. What is the tattva artha? What is the reality about which he doesn't think? Atattva artha and atattva alpam cha. Insignificant. This is what we see in most of the religious fanaticism, is it not? The 2 world wars are all because of that. Smart. My concept, my idea, my faith, my belief, my religion alone is true. All others, whoever believe, whatever it is, I hate and take a weapon to kill them also. Now, see, even in the name of God, what are we trying to do? His own creation we destroy. Would you do with your body? I love this hand. I don't want this. Let's cut it. So Gurudev writes beautifully that how they are generally fanatic in their faith and their devotion in their view and values of life. This fanaticism is the danger, whether it is a political ideology or a religious concept or philosophical belief, where a person is blind to all other possibilities, even science for that matter, or any other idea. Someone who is holding on to one fanatic idea and then destroys all others or hates other things and while becoming violent about it, that is called tamasic knowledge. Tat tamasam udahritam. See, it is very interesting. Seeing ekam is one thing. Ekam is opening up the whole mind, whole vision. Even as I see variety, I do not allow them to disturb my vision of that oneness which is underlying current of the whole thing. Whereas a person takes a part of it, a portion, and this alone is true, all others are destructible, hateable, subject to, for me to throw away in my mind and externally also. And therefore, such a person develops only constant hatred for all others who do not believe what he says. This is what we find. Most of the religions have this kind of a faction. Not all religions as per se would say that, but the faction of people are like this, and because of it, that very religion gets a bad name. Although other followers who are sincerely doing the right thing also get the bad name. Because of what? Because of one section of people who are very vociferous about what they are saying, very vocal about what they are doing, and they are highlighted by others. See, these people are like this. So, yattu krishnavad ekasmin karye saktam ahedukam atatvartavad alpam cha tat tamasamudaham. Bhagavan Krishna visualized all these things, possibilities long back. Even in the case of Duryodhana Adi, is it not that they, even though they are cousins, not somebody else, not an enemy, it's only my uncle's son, how much they held on to their own property or the wealth and nothing doing, I'm not giving it to you anything. And all various methods to destroy others. Bhagavan Krishna has to come to punish them. I will definitely punish you for what you are doing. So, Krishnavad ekasmin karye saktam ahedukam. So, this leads to an individual who is not ready for understanding, and such a person would blindly go about, like in the case of Hiranyakashipu, etc., consider me as God, not Vishnu, not anybody else. Is it not that he said that I am the only person to be worshipped? Nobody else? And Prahlad says, what a foolishness. You don't even understand. Where are you from? So, that kind of a knowledge. Now, the thing is, what is this inquiry that needs to be taken up? It is written, atattvartavat. What is tattvartha? Simple understanding will know. This, a person who thinks that there is nothing called God, there is only world of matter, that alone is true. If that person has that kind of a viewpoint and then he holds on to it, one question you have to ask, how can matter create matter? You tell me. An inert thing, a jadam, how can it create? Even it cannot create another jadam. 2 tables are there. You go for a vacation and come back. There are 15 tables. Is it possible? All the furniture shops will close down and go away. So 2 things which are jadam cannot create. How can matter can create matter? First thing. Second, can the matter create life? Huh? Can the matter create a life form? Combination of matter. And because matter cannot create something opposed to it, a jadam cannot create the chetan. And if you understand that this life cannot be created by anything, how can you end it? You don't even know how it is created. How will you end it? Only matter can end, which is created or which is manufactured in some form or the other. But life that is uncreated can never end. That is tattva. Matter cannot create matter. Matter cannot create life. Life uncreated cannot be destroyed. This is what the Gita is talking about. And that one does not think, and therefore one holds on to one's own pet ideas and lives in this world. That knowledge is called tamasam. So as we have seen in the 14th chapter also, sattva sanjayate jnanam rajasaha karma evacha pramada moho tamasaha bhavat ajnanam. Sattva is in pursuit of knowledge, rajas is in pursuit of action, tamas is only in the pursuit of indulgence and laziness and sleep. And destruction, himsa. So we must inquire into ourselves what kind of a knowledge I possess, because that decides my course of life. If I am pursuing the Eka Jnanam, knowledge of oneness, then I keep on increasing my awareness about that oneness. Then it is a sattvic path. If I am only in the rajasic mode, then I will engage only in continuously in action, endless. Now, action obviously is a signature of life, as Gurudev put it. As human beings as we are, even if we have the right knowledge, we have to express that knowledge in action. All great masters who have gained the highest knowledge also very actively worked in this world. So here, what are the 3 types of action he enumerates there? Verse number 23. Niyatam sangarahitam aragadveshatakritam apala prepsuna karma yat tat satvikam uchyate. Niyatam sangarahitam aragadveshatakritam apala prepsuna karma yat tat satvikam uchyate. This he has been emphasizing from chapter 2 onwards. And he never gets tired of saying this again and again. That is called sattvic karma. Yat tat sattvikam karma uchyate. What is this? 3 points he puts here. Niyatam. That which is taken up by you as your responsibility. See, that is why I have already pointed out many times. When you say duty or obligation, that is different from responsibility. When you go to your workplace and when you start working, you are definitely working because at the end of the week or end of the month, you get something out of it. And that's what driving you to work. Even if you are doing your own business, you will look at the, what is that? Bottom line. What is that I got out of it at the end of the day? That is important. Whereas responsibility is not something which you do for the sake of gaining some profit, or not that it is imposed on you also. It is not something which you are expected to do. No, which you have decided to do because you have understood that you are responsible for that. And when you take up that work as a responsibility, as I said earlier, you will not feel tired at all. As Gurudev puts a beautiful example here, a typical example that can, at this moment, be remembered in an individual nursing his own wounded limb. As soon as I say your left toe strikes against some furniture in the house and gets wounded, the entire body bends down to nurse it. Herein, there is neither any special love for the left leg nor any particular extra attachment for it as compared with the other parts of the body. Araga dvesh. No raga and dvesha. Why that you are interested to take care of that immediately? Because it is me. I have the responsibility to take care of this. Nobody is telling me to do it. Is anybody telling you to do it? When your feet is injured, you have to nurse it. Oh, I don't know. When you are hungry, you have to eat. That's why my mother told me. I often forget that. See, when we know that what we need to do, it is not because I have a raga or dvesha. It is my responsibility. In the same way, when you have taken up things that are your responsibility, as a parent, as a husband, as a wife, when I have taken up that as my responsibility, that you only did it, huh? Don't say that my parents made me do that, Swami. I want to be a sannyasi. You could have easily walked away. I don't want to do it. In the part of you said, no, don't do it. Your friends have done it. However, niyatam sangarahitam. Sangarahitam with no particular attachment. And no raga or dvesha. Neither hatred nor any kind of enjoyment in that externally. Araga dveshatah. With no raga or dvesha, likes or dislike, kritam. At the same time, there is no end result of it, which you are seeking. Because the very action itself is complete. Aphala prepsuna. Phala prepsu means having a particular result in mind and keeping that and drive, because that driven by that one is doing. As I said, if at the end of the day I don't get anything, I won't do that again anymore. Very often you ask, no, being your husband, what did I get? Or being your wife, what did I get? Being your parent, what did I get? And that fellow said, you created me. Then you are asking me that question. Did I ask you to get me? See, it is a responsibility. Not even an obligation. Obligation means you are expecting at the end of it, I'm obliged, you are obliged to me. When I get old, you should do this to me. No. Don't even expect, because you'll be disappointed. Unobliged you become. No. It is not an obligation. It is not a duty. It is not a forced engagement. It is a willful, responsible action. Apala prepsuna karma, that is called satvikam karma iti uchate. So as even Arjun asked this question at the end of the war, what will happen? Don't even worry about it. Do your best. What will happen, and what has to happen will happen. So you do your thing. Don't worry about it. Because you cannot comprehend the whole perception of that you don't have. Your portion, what you're doing, is definitely going to impact many things. You cannot comprehend the wholeness of it, the completeness of it. As much as when we take the food, do you know how the food is distributed to the body, how the various, the blood vessels are working, so many systems are, you have no idea about this. Even if you have studied medicine, you have studied anatomy, and still you do not know how the whole thing works so miraculously. You have taken it for granted. Is it not true? Every day. Breakfast, lunch, in between the chai also, then cake, and then that prasad, that also goes in. Then lunch, after that ice cream, and then sleep, and then pan. Yeah, how many things you keep on adding? You ever wonder what happens to it? So, you have no idea about how your work, a portion of your work, affects the entire creation. And do your part. Bhagavan says, don't worry about it. Do your part. I know what is going on. You cannot comprehend how he works. And he works through each one of us. Do your part. I know you are supposed to do. And that's what you need to do. So first of all, we should know what we are supposed to do. That is called niyatam karma. Niyatam sangarahitam aragadveshatakritam. And so when we are doing our portion of the responsibility, when we take up Lord's name and doing it as an offering to him, with no raga and dvesha, there is no hatred in that, there is no extra attachment to it. Apala prepsana, with no anxiety about the result. Let me do my best in this part. Like yesterday, we had these various teams doing only their role, their part, they have to do. That's all best. That's all you need to do. Then everything is taken care. So when the whole team, when it is working and each one's role, they know what they need to do and complete that as best as you can, then it will become so beautiful. As much as our physical body is also doing that. Each one is doing their work only, is it not? They are not even competing with each another. The eyes are competing with the nose. Nose is competing with the tongue. Tongue is competing with the ears. Heart is competing with the lungs. No. Are they not doing what they are supposed to do? And that's it. Similarly, fire, air, water, earth, space, everything, their role, their field, complete their work. So this way, when we are clear about the role that we have to play in this world, with no likes and dislikes, with no anxiety about the result, with total dedication as this whole thing is taken care by the Lord. I just to do my part of it and he will take care of it. This understanding is there. That is called sattvic karma. So act we must, no doubt. Not even a moment we can remain without action. But that action needs to be done with love. As Gurudev says, it is dedicated activity of love, and yet it is not propelled by either love or hatred. That is the beauty. The devotion is neither raga or dvesha. The devotion to God is neither raga nor dvesha. Obviously not dvesha, but even that is not raga. It's not even attachment. As Radha would have for Krishna, and then Krishna would say, you are attached to me, I will punish you for that. If you only recognize that I am not owned by anyone. It is like once Gurudev asked this question to Swami Tapovanam, how to remain without having this idea of possession. Because that's what makes people even hate others. When I am in trying to possess something, and then somebody else also want to do that, then I feel this is an enemy. I'm jealous of this person. Swami Tapovanam very beautifully said, look at the beauty of this Himalayas, the snow-clad mountains. You enjoy it, you can't possess it. You can't own it. But you can love it. You can enjoy its beauty. You can enjoy the beauty of the sunrise, sunset. You cannot own it. I own it. Take a picture and put it in my living room. Huge picture. Many of us do that. When you go to such a beautiful scene, keep it aside and look at it. No, I want to take a picture and go home and put a picture on that and then watch that. The whole creation is so beautiful. And while you are thus enjoying the beauty, you have no feeling or anxiety to own it, possess it. And another is also such a beautiful sun, right? You are also looking and jealous of you. How can that be? Are you jealous because he is also enjoying the same beauty? You dare not look at the sun. So possessiveness comes when you think you can own it. Bhagavan says no. So aragadveshata kritam. What is rajasic then? Yattu kamepsuna karma sahankarena va punaha kriyate bahulayasam tat rajasamudahritam yattu kamepsuna karma sahankarena va punaha kriyate bahulayasam tat rajasamudahritam. Kamya karma pradhanatvam rajasam karma. Where the karma is essentially only to get what I desire to get. I'm ready to forsake my responsibilities also for the sake of accommodating actions that can fulfill my desire. If such a person is there even in a family, so you will be hated for what he is doing or she is doing, isn't it? And such a person in a family say, only my thing I will do. You people do whatever you want. Huh? In a family, you need a set of people who are living together, 4 or 5 of them. And a person, I cook my own food. I will take care of my own clothing. I take care of my own washing, my room. What? Why are you living in a hostel or what? And you will see that is what today's children and teenage. My room will be clean. My clothes I will wash. I don't care. My bread I will make. My toast and then I will go. क्या है? If that kind of a living, is it called a family living then? Similarly, when we are in this world, when we do anything, keep in mind how many people can benefit out of this. No doubt you have to take care of what you need to do for yourself, but as much as I do things which can help as many people as possible, if I can take up that, then only it is sattvic. If I only kama ipsuna, only my desire to be fulfilled, karma, sa ahankarena kriyate. With ahankar, मैं करता हूँ, मैं खुद, मैं only I can do it, and without me, it'll all go into doldrums. If a person thinks like that, whether it is an organization, business organization, or a voluntary organization, where one thinks that without me, nothing will work, such a person will be taught lesson by the Lord. No one is indispensable in this world. Bhagavan made clear that if you are not there, I will immediately replace somebody else there. I can do that. We should never feel that we are indispensable. I am doing it. I am given an opportunity to serve, be here. I can be replaced by anyone within no time. But so long as I am here, let me do what I am supposed to do. So if an individual living in a family or in a society or anywhere, only interested in what do I get, that is kama ipsu, kamepsuna karma, and ahankarena, with other than me, nobody can do this. If one thinks like that, yat karma kriyate punaha bahula, and therefore, since he is anxious that without me nothing will happen, then I have to do everything. And because of me alone, everything is happening. Not only physically he becomes tired, mentally there is tiredness. And such people, when they retire, the next day they get a heart attack. Why? No, I'm useless. Nobody wants me. They are afraid to get retired. Huh? So when I ask some people who are past 66, are you retiring? Slowly, Swami. Earlier I used to work for every day. Now I'm working 4 days a week, 3 days a week, 2 days a week, 1 day a week. I can't work until then. Reason is that the mind has not developed interest in anything else. The ones who have developed an interest in personal growth, then you would not mind giving up your work, and gradually you will be able to glide into a higher level of living. Whereas a person, one who thinks that he is indispensable or she is indispensable, even as the daughter-in-law comes there and ready to take, no, oh, dare you do that? I have been doing for so long. Key is always with me only. I am the key person. Say that mother-in-law, key jay. Key jay, key only. You think that you are indispensable. Before that, your mother-in-law threw you out, right? That's why you are so. Ahankar, bahulayasam. So such a person is always living in anxiety. Because he'll be, even as one gets old, one feels that I am going to become useless. Physically, mentally, ayas, tiredness, strain, and tat rajasam udaharam, that kind of an action where an individual thinks he or she is indispensable, and he or she thinks that everything that I do, I alone can do, and I want maximum out of what I do, only to myself. I don't care about others. Such a person lives with great tiredness while engaging in work. There is no love in that. There is no happiness in completing the job. That karma is rajasam karma. We'll see more of it in the next session. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkhabhat bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.